Hey everyone, it's great to connect with you. We're all striving to stay active, vibrant, and truly make the most of every year. And a big part of that, of course, is staying on top of our health. But here's something profoundly important to consider. Something that's becoming clearer with new research. More isn't always better, especially when it comes to medical tests after 70. In fact, some routine checkups that were absolutely crucial in our younger years can actually begin to do more harm than good as we embrace these later chapters of life. I'm talking about making smart, informed choices, not neglecting your health in any way. It's about truly understanding the scientific insights behind current recommendations and knowing when to confidently say, hold on, is this really the best path for me right now? Let's dive into a few powerful examples that illustrate this point. Rethinking the routine colonoscopy. For decades, colonoscopies have been hailed as the gold standard for preventing colorectal cancer, and rightly so. They've undoubtedly saved countless lives by detecting and removing precancerous polyps. But after the age of 70, for many of us, the delicate balance of risk versus benefit starts to shift quite significantly. Here's why this shift occurs. The primary life-saving goal of a colonoscopy is to find and remove those precancerous polyps before they have a chance to develop into invasive cancer. The truly good news, backed by extensive research, is that most polyps, especially the common ones, grow incredibly slowly. Scientific studies have repeatedly shown it can take a full 10 years, or even significantly longer, for a small benign polyp to progress into an advanced, invasive cancer. So, if you've had a history of regular screenings with consistently clear results, or if you're now approaching 75 or 80 without any family history of early-onset colon cancer or concerning symptoms, the likelihood of a brand new, fast-growing, life-threatening polyp emerging now is considerably lower. Now, let's realistically consider the procedure itself and its impact on an older body. The intensive bowel prep. This isn't just an inconvenience. It can be profoundly dehydrating and lead to significant electrolyte imbalances. For older adults, this can directly increase the risk of serious complications like sudden falls, dizziness, or episodes of acute confusion. I remember my friend Eleanor, usually so sharp and independent, telling me she felt utterly disoriented and weak for 2 days after her last prep. It really took a toll on her usual vibrant energy. The sedation. Even what's considered light sedation carries inherent risks, especially for our cardiovascular and respiratory systems, which may be more fragile with age. Furthermore, there's a well-documented phenomenon known as postoperative cognitive dysfunction, POCD, where some seniors can experience lingering memory issues, brain fog, or a noticeable decline in mental clarity for days or even weeks after anesthesia. The procedural risks, while relatively rare, there's a small but definite risk of perforation, a tear in the colon wall, which can be a very serious, life-threatening complication requiring immediate emergency surgery. This risk, though small, does increase slightly with age and the presence of other health conditions. For many active seniors, especially those with no symptoms or high risk factors, non-invasive stool tests, which screen for hidden blood or specific DNA markers of cancer, can be excellent, far safer, and highly effective alternatives. These can offer peace of mind without the significant burdens and risks of a full colonoscopy. It's definitely a conversation to have with your healthcare provider. The allure of the full body scan. It sounds incredibly appealing, doesn't it? The idea of a comprehensive full body scan, be it a CT or an MRI, to catch absolutely anything hidden, anywhere in your body. But for otherwise healthy asymptomatic seniors, this can often be a classic example of too much information leading to unnecessary anxiety and intervention. Here's the crucial scientific reality. These advanced imaging scans are extraordinarily sensitive. They're designed to pick up every tiny detail. As a result, they frequently detect what doctors refer to as incidental findings. These are minor abnormalities, often incredibly small and completely harmless, that would likely never cause you any problems, never progress, and never affect your lifespan. Think of them as tiny scars, minor age-related changes, or benign variations that are simply part of the natural process of living and aging. However, once these incidental lomas are discovered, they almost inevitably trigger a cascade of anxiety, and often a series of more invasive follow-up tests. Intense fear and worry. The discovery of an unknown spot can lead to immense mental distress. What is this? Is it serious? Could it be cancer? This psychological burden can be incredibly significant and draining. Unnecessary follow-up procedures. That innocent spot might then necessitate a biopsy, a procedure where tissue is removed for examination. Biopsies carry their own risks, including infection, bleeding, and even a collapsed lung if it's a deep biopsy. I recall a friend, Robert, who chose a peace-of-mind full-body scan. They found a minuscule, barely visible nodule on his lung. This led to weeks of anxious waiting, a scary lung biopsy, and then more waiting, only for it to be confirmed as completely benign. He later told me, quite emphatically, that the anxiety and pain of the follow-up were far worse than any potential benefit from finding something so insignificant. Unless you have very specific symptoms that your doctor is trying to investigate, or a known strong risk factor, major medical organizations worldwide strongly discourage routine full-body scans for general screening in seniors. This isn't an oversight. It's a deliberate recommendation based on the evidence that they frequently lead to more harm, anxiety, unnecessary procedures, potential complications, than actual good in this population. Questioning routine cardiac stress tests. We all share a common goal: maintaining a strong, healthy heart. And certainly, cardiac stress tests play a vital, life-saving role when you're experiencing symptoms like chest pain, unexplained shortness of breath, or other specific indicators of heart trouble. But for active seniors who are asymptomatic, meaning they have no current heart-related symptoms, routine stress tests might surprisingly lead you down a misleading and potentially risky path. Here's the often overlooked physiological fact. As we gracefully age, our bodies undergo very normal, expected changes. Our arteries naturally become a bit stiffer, a process called arterial stiffening. And our hearts might not respond to strenuous exertion with the exact same vigor they did when we were 40. These entirely normal, age-related physiological changes can, quite frequently, lead to false positives on a stress test. The test might indicate a problem that simply isn't there, or isn't clinically significant. So what happens when you get a positive stress test result that might not reflect true, dangerous heart disease? It almost invariably leads to more invasive and potentially risky procedures, such as an angiogram. This is a procedure where a catheter is inserted into an artery, and special dye is injected to visualize your heart's blood vessels for blockages. While angiograms are absolutely critical and life-saving when truly needed, they carry their own set of risks, which are elevated for older adults: bleeding at the insertion site, kidney injury from the contrast dye, and in rare cases, even stroke or heart attack. You could find yourself facing a recommendation for a stent insertion or even open-heart surgery based on results that, for an asymptomatic senior, might not have indicated a true, life-threatening blockage requiring such intervention. Instead, for asymptomatic seniors, the most powerful and low-risk strategies for heart health are those fundamental, proven lifestyle measures. Consistent physical activity. Even daily brisk walks can make a huge difference. A heart-healthy diet, emphasizing fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Proactive management, working closely with your doctor to control blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and blood sugar if applicable. Stress reduction. Finding healthy ways to manage the stresses of daily life. These are the truly effective, low-risk ways to keep your heart robust and healthy for years to come. Your health, your choices, empowering yourself. Ultimately, your health journey is deeply personal. The central message here isn't to dismiss or avoid doctors or medical tests. Quite the opposite. It's about empowering yourself to be an informed, active participant in your own care. As we get older, our healthcare decisions should increasingly be tailored to our individual health status, our personal values, and our goals for quality of life, not just blanket guidelines. So when a test or procedure is suggested, don't hesitate to ask those critical questions. Why is this specific test being recommended for me at this stage of my life? What are the precise potential risks and tangible benefits of this procedure? especially for someone my age and health profile. Are there alternative, less invasive, or equally effective screening options available that we should consider? How will the results of this test truly change my treatment plan or quality of life? Being well-informed empowers you to make choices that truly align with your deepest goals. Living a long, vibrant, and independent life, filled with joy and free from unnecessary medical interventions that might actually detract from your well-being. Take care of yourselves, stay curious about your health, and keep making those incredibly smart, informed choices that serve you best. If you found this information valuable and empowering, please take a moment to like this video. Share it widely with friends and family who might benefit from these insights, and subscribe to our channel for more practical guidance and thoughtful discussions on healthy, thriving aging. We're here to support you in living your absolute best life,